Alright guys, welcome to QuikCodes. In this video, we're going to go through a quick tutorial where I'll be showing you how to set up a SOHO, meaning a small office home office network. The reason why I chose this activity in particular is because it's a great opportunity for you to work on setting up such networks at home and getting familiar with the whole process and the devices that needed to create such a network when you go out in businesses and maybe you want to start your own business. As you see, if you look to the left side, you see the instructions say, or says, you are working on a small office home office network. The homeowner recently changed their internet service provider and has an existing Ethernet router connected to an RJ45 jack on the wall plate. They would like to connect this laptop to the internet with a wireless connection. You need to create a wireless network. And if you look further, you see the instructions telling us the requirement needed for this wireless access point, which is in the shelf right here. Okay. Now let's just do a quick overview. Look at the devices that we have this homeowner possess. They have a laptop, they have a desktop, they have a router. You see they have the jacks in the wall, the Ethernet, the phone jack, the coaxial cable jack, and they also have a surge protector that's protecting the rest of the devices if there's ever a shock wave or some type of spike in the power source to protect the devices from being damaged or short-circuited. And lastly, we have another desktop and a tablet. Okay, but in particular, this homeowner wants us to set up wireless network for the laptop, which you see here. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin. You see, place a wireless access point on a computer desktop. The wireless access point must have transmission speeds up to 600 megabytes per second and be backward compatible with other wireless standards that use 2.4 gigahertz, excuse me. As you know, when it comes to wireless, when it comes to Wi-Fi, the standard 802.11 is used to differentiate different speeds and how much signal will penetrate the wall, so that way the devices can get and pick up the signals. In this case, and you know, whenever you have situations like this, you want to use your resources. Okay, it's not that we're perfect or we're like AI and computers and such where we can just remember information, every single thing, every single detail to a crisp. You want to use the resources around you so that way you can get the information and apply it effectively and quickly, so that way the solution can be manifest in real time. So we're saying that, you may have to go on the internet, or you may have to have your little chart on handy, which let me show you with the different standards. So if you look at this chart, you see the standard, the frequency, the maximum speed, and which ones are backwards compatible. Okay, the homeowner says that they need one that's going to offer a maximum of 600 megabytes per second and be backwards compatible. Now, based on this chart, we see 802.11n offers that. But for some reason, if you go into the assignment, which I've already done for you, you will see that the 802.11 wireless access point, 802.11n, let's go down, this one here in particular, it still won't provide the internet connectivity that we need in order to access the internet. So to keep things, to avoid having, let me see, give me 1 second. Okay. To avoid having to go through that stumbling block, we'll go ahead and pick standard that's 802.11n and provides those other standards that's backward compatible to it, which is, at this time, it says ABG, but if you look on the assignment, it's going to offer 802.11n, G, and B. Okay. So if we look even closer, let's see, which is this one right here. So this is the access point that we're going to be using. Let's go ahead and take this access point out of the shelf, and we're going to place it amongst the rest of the devices. All right. Let's see if we can move it closer to the router. Okay, there we go. All right. So now we have the access point next to the router. We have this access point, just as it said, it's on 802.11n, it's backwards compatible, and it's offering 600 megabytes per second. So we have that checked. The next thing the instruction it tells us to do is make sure it has power. So we want to look at the shelf again. This time we're going to the cables. We're going to see we have the first item, which is the cord that we need, the power adapter, AC to DC, acting as a small transformer. We're going to select that. We're going to also add that, take that out of the shelf. Okay. So we're going to take the part that goes into the outlet, and in particular what I like to do, I like to put inside of some type of surge protector to protect it from, like I said, any electromagnetic waves, any spikes in the power, or anything that can cause the device to be damaged. We're going to plug it into the outlet, right? We're going to take the other end. We're going to turn the wireless access point around, as you see here. And we're going to pull this cable piece and we're going to plug it inside. Let me zoom in so you can see what I just did. All right, we just literally plugged it in. All right, let's zoom back out, turn it around. And as you see, if you want some type of indication that it's powered on, you see now the green circular button that we're familiar with that says power or represents power is illuminated. And also you see the radio signal on the Wi-Fi access point. All right, let's zoom out. Let's go to the next one, because right now it's receiving power, but we needed to connect to the router so we can get internet access and the other devices can connect to the wireless access point. Okay, so connect the access point and router using the Ethernet cable. We still have the shelf open, listing all the cables, and if you see the IEE 1394 firework cable, 6-pin to 6-pin, is just a cable that's basically used for camcorders and audio video devices. It transfers data between both devices. You have the USB. I don't have to explain that. We were familiar with that. We use it every day. We've been using it for the last few years. You have the Cat 6A Ethernet cable, the RJ45, and it's the one we want to use in particular. All right. Why we aren't using the UTP cable, because it stands for untwisted pair cable, and the RJ11 cable is used for telephones, hardwired phones like back in the day. Also, we don't want to use the coaxial cable RG6 because that's for DSL and cable. All right. So we're going to go back to this RJ45 cable. Let's pull it out the shelf. We're going to turn this wireless access point again, turn it around. Okay. Let's take one end of this Ethernet. We're going to plug it inside, okay? Turn it back around. We're going to move over to the right or wherever you're at on your screen, and we want to turn the router around. And we want to place it and plug the other end of the Ethernet cable inside one of these LAN ports. LAN stands for local area network. Local area network is the port and the connection that's going to go to your devices within the home. And then you have the WAN, which stands for wide area network. That's going to go to the ISP and help bring internet connectivity from the outside in, so that way it can connect to your wireless access point and the rest of the devices in the building. All right. So now that we have everything plugged in, we have the wireless access point. It's illuminated, it's powered on, and it's connected to the router. So internet connectivity is coming from the outside, going to the router, then it's going to the wireless access point. So that way every device in the building can be connected wirelessly. We want to move on to the next instruction. All right. So it tells us to enable the homeowner's laptop to connect to the wireless network. Now this homeowner in particular, if you even look further down, it says that this particular laptop has a wireless network switch enabled on it. So you have to physically switch or turn on the wireless access adapter, so that way the laptop can receive the signal and connect to the internet. All right. If you zoom in, you can see at the bottom of the laptop in the front, you see the radio signal and the switch. You want to click it. As you can see, it's turned on. It's even illuminated to signify that it's open. That it's on. We're going to zoom out and we're going to move forward with configure the homeowner's laptop to connect automatically to the HomeNet AC network, wireless network. HomeNet-AC is the SSID, the name of the router, in this case, for the device to be able to pick up to and join to, for lack of better terms, like an alias almost. So we're going to click on this laptop's monitor. It's going to take us inside. As you see at the bottom, I said in the past video, one of the easiest ways to tell if the computer or device isn't receiving any internet access is to look for the icon at the bottom right. If you see a globe, that lets you know it's not connected to the internet. If you see a Wi-Fi symbol, that means it's connected wirelessly. And if you see a computer with a plug inside of it, that means either it's hardwired or there's a virtual connection that's acting as a proxy for you to have wireless access. All right, so we're going to right click it, network and internet settings. We're going to go to Wi-Fi. We're going to select show available networks, and we see it's available. Now, if the access point wasn't connected to the router, we wouldn't see this SSID. But since it is, and it's a further indication that everything is being done correctly, we can select it. And just as the instructions say, it wants us to connect automatically. We'll do so by checking, connect automatically, connect. And at the bottom, instantaneously, you see the globe turns into the Wi-Fi symbol and lets you know the SSID is connected to. All right. Like I said, it's a great opportunity for you to get practice in, for you to set up your home network environments, and even have some preparation for when you step out into the real world and service others, whether they're clients or just opportunities to get some experience. Thank you for watching the video. Continue learning. Have a good one.